Mm, right. Now I'm going to bring up your PowerPoint and the floor is yours.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Kara Douglas, and I am currently the Future Center Director at EC Glass High School with the Lynchburg Beacon of Hope. And prior to that, my role was to work with college students to figure out their path after college, but also to equip them with the skills to be successful in doing so. And in fact, I actually worked with Claudio here. He took some of our classes. So I think it must have worked out well for him since he's employed, it looks like. So anyway, and currently I'm at EC Glass High School and I'm working with students similarly, but the focus is more so encouraging education for certification, in order to get them into whether it's a career, workforce, military, whatever it may be for them after high school. We establish a plan and work with them with Beacon of Hope in order to ensure their success. So, with all of that being said, I have a lot of experience and knowledge as it comes to when it comes to career related topics, and one of which is how to work a job fair. So, let's get into it. So, one of the first things that you want to do when you are planning to attend a job fair is you want to reach out to the host and figure out who's coming. Once you get that list of those individuals who will be attending the job fair, you'll then want to research them and identify the organizations that you really want to meet with and talk to and learn about the opportunities they have available. So, this comes the prep, right? So we need to learn about the company, and that includes doing a quick Google search. What is their mission? What are their values? What kind of job openings do they have? Look at the descriptions, figure out what skills do I have that I could use in this role. And then, of course, you want to make that list of those organizations that you want to work at and refine your resume, right? Tailor your resume. And that's another skill set that I can help you with if you need it. And this slideshow will also have my contact information. So please feel free to reach out. But you also want to make sure that you make copies. And if you do want to go above and beyond, which is encouraged, you can actually tailor your resume to each organization that you are going to speak with, and the job openings that they do have available. And lastly, you do want to practice your elevator pitch. So your elevator pitch is that 30-second like introduction to who you are and why you're standing in front of the person you're talking to. Okay. And it's called the elevator pitch because typically when you're on an elevator, it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds to reach your destination, right? So it needs to be short and sweet, but to the point. So I have this lovely acronym, YIPPY, that I created to help you build out your elevator pitch, right? So we have four components of your elevator pitch, and I will go over all of them. But this is a nice template for you to use to help you brainstorm what you might say to the different organizations based on the job openings and descriptions that you read during your research, right? So you want to first introduce yourself. So, hi, my name is Kara. My most recent experience is in career services. Then you want to jump to your interest. I am interested in continuing career service work within the secondary education sector. Then you'll move to the proof. And this is showcasing that you really do have these interests because you've done things that are related to those interests, right? So I'm interested in career services where I can put my communication, my knowledge, skills, and relevant previous experience and higher education to use. So that would be how you could tie in those interests and the proof. And then lastly, you really want to keep the conversation going. So you then should ask them an open-ended question. So in this case, it would be, could you tell me about some career-related opportunities within your organization or that are available with your company? And so this is just another example of how you can write your elevator pitch. And so this is Sarah. Sarah, she introduces herself. My name is Sarah. My most recent experience is in customer service. I am interested in working in retail or hospitality where I can put my people skills and customer service experience to use. Could you tell me more about your customer focused opportunities available with your company? So that is just another example of how you could pitch or how someone might pitch who they are and what they're trying to achieve. All right. So then we have the handshaking. And this is really important because when you do make that first contact with somebody, you want to show that you are confident and you are excited and ready to talk about yourself professionally. So one of the first things you want to do is smile at this person. So you're walking up to an employer at the fair. Hi, my name is Kara. You're smiling, making eye contact. You typically at this point reach out for the handshake. You want to make sure that your handshake is firm, but not too firm. You don't want to hurt that person because if that is the case and you make them feel uncomfortable, that's what they're going to remember about you and not whatever skill set or professional experience that you bring to the table. Okay. So, and typically it's 1 to 2 up and down motions, and that's it, 1 to 2 seconds long. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you have clean hands and dry hands. So, if they're sweaty, try to discreetly wipe them off. Maybe just plan to wash your hands before you go into the job fair and make sure they're dry. All right. And then, of course, presentation is everything. So you want to dress professionally. And there are just some key takeaways from this, and that is make sure that you have clean, wrinkle-free clothes with simple, solid colors, um, simple patterns, nothing too busy, nothing too crazy. You want to make sure that they fit well and that you are comfortable in them. Because if you're uncomfortable, you're going to be tugging, and that's going to be distracting. You want to make sure that your shoes are plain, clean. All right. And for tops, button ups, polos, simple blouses, blazers are also good. Now, with blazers, again, you want to keep it simple. I have a friend who has a rose gold sequined blazer, so that would obviously not be the way to go. But a blazer is also nice, a nice touch. Again, clean pants, khaki slacks. Ladies, if you do decide to wear a skirt, a pencil skirt is ideal, at least knee length. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you are well groomed. So make sure that your hair is neat, your nails are clean, your breath doesn't stink, that you brush your teeth, or you have some extra gum or some mints on you before you go in to meet these employers. And then lastly, you really, really want to follow up. So as you're having these conversations with the recruiters, you want to make sure that you get their business card. And so that afterwards you can follow up with them. Email is typically the method that individuals follow up with the recruiters, but you can also send a letter mail through the post office that will definitely make you stand out as it shows going above and beyond. But an email is just fine. Make sure it's within 24 hours after the event. And then, of course, if you have a LinkedIn profile, connecting with them on LinkedIn is also appropriate. And when you send your message, you can just let them know, hey, this is Kara. We met at the job fair. I just wanted to reiterate my interest in the positions you had available. And then at that point, you might want to highlight something you all talked about when you did meet up there. And then just close it out. I hope to hear from you, provide your contact information, and that's really it. And so please feel free to reach out to me if you all have questions. This is my email address. You can reach me there. And then, of course, this is my work cell. So you can text me, you can give me a call, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And like I said, I have done resume writing workshops, cover letter writing. I can help with interview prep, all of those things. I'm happy to support you in. Just reach out to me. Thank you.
I'm going to ask a question
Okay.
just for the sake of questions.
Okay.
All right, so let's say we have an individual who does not have any business casual wear, doesn't have a button up, doesn't have slacks or anything like that. How would you ask for them to come dressed for a job fair?
Yeah. So my initial response would be to um, wear the best that you have, whatever that might be. I also know that there are some really great individuals in the community who have clothing closets that could connect with them and help them out as far as that goes. Claudio, I don't know if do you remember Jimmy Rue, Dr. Rue? Okay, yes. So Dr. Rue is one of those individuals at the University of Lynchburg. He actually has a clothing closet. It's called Suit Yourself. So that is a really great resource for individuals who need some professional attire. And it's free, you get to keep it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, and for, let's say, an individual, they're looking for a medical job, how
Mhm.
would you how would you advise for them to go about their elevator pitch?
So looking for a medical job. So again, I would have them think about any related experience they have and try to incorporate that into their elevator pitch. So introducing themselves, expressing their interest in the medical field, maybe talking about any sort of previous experience they've had, whether it's nursing, office management, whatever that may be for them, and then just opening up to the employer. But if they don't have specific direct experience in the medical field, then that would be the opportunity for them to hone in on those transferable skills. So those skills like communication, customer service, teamwork, leadership, those types of skills that you need in any job.
Do you have any other questions?
I
I
have
have
one question.
Sure.
Um,
It's an echo.
okay.
My bad.
Uh, the question is a little bit kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really, my question is, what would you recommend to someone who maybe lacks confidence? I know you touched a little bit on the handshake and, dressing uh appropriately. That can, help someone feel a little bit more confident, but maybe mentally, is there any sort of like exercise that someone can do or, just to help them mentally prepare for the job fair? Because,
Yeah,
it's a little nerve-wracking at times.
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, So I would just say practice your elevator speech, um, practice with your friends, family, um, any of you all, I'm sure would be willing to help. I'm also a resource. We can practice going through their speech and then giving them feedback, what could be better. So again, I think in my opinion and in my own experiences, I have found that practicing has made the biggest difference when it comes to confidence for me. And then of course, making sure I felt good as well about my personal appearance and just going in there and feeling confident because I have practiced and I am equipped and prepared and ready to go. So I think preparation is really key when it comes to confidence for these types of events.
Kara, I have a question.
Sure.
It's kind of twofold question.
Okay.
When you are at a career fair,
Mm-hmm.
employer themselves meet hundreds of people most times.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on how to be remembered or to stand out?
Yeah.
And also, do you have any tips or suggestions on following up with the employers after you leave the event?
Yes. So honestly, I'm going to go back to what I said. Preparing. So there were a couple of points I made previously where going above and beyond is really going to make you stand out. A lot of people go to the fair and just stand at the table and expect the recruiter just to give them that information. If you go up to that recruiter, reach out for that handshake and do your elevator pitch, then you already have set the bar pretty high and they will be impressed by that. But also, like I said, reaching out to whomever it may be who's hosting. So I know you guys have a fair coming up, but reaching out to you all, finding out who is going to be there, researching those companies, tailoring your resume to those companies are all going above and beyond. And prepping is really going to set any and all apart. Great
And
question.
may I add, we, the pipelines and pathways team, like Kara said earlier, would be more than willing to have willing to more than happy to help you all tailor your resumes to these specific jobs, and create your elevator speech. So send us an email and we will put it in the chat.
Yes.
And I have a question.
Sure.
So I know you said prepare, and prep is one of the major keys, but
Mhm.
in your opinion, advice, should there be a certain number of questions that you put a cap on? Because I've met people that in a setting that they ask like 1,001 questions, and in a work fair, it's kind of busy.
Yeah, yeah. So are you saying the individuals who are attending the fair, is there a cap on the questions they ask the person there?
Recruiter, yes.
Yes. Okay. So my advice, see, a lot of it is like social awareness and picking up on nonverbal cues. So a lot of that is hard to teach, but I think that if you see there are people waiting behind you to talk to the recruiter, then I think it should be time for you to wrap it up if you've already been there for a few minutes. And then of course, social cues, I think you can usually tell when somebody loses interest. Their eyes glaze over, they maybe stop making eye contact. Their responses are like, oh, okay, oh, wow, yeah. You can tell when somebody's losing interest in the conversation too. So I would say those would be the cues to look for when it comes to stopping the questioning for the recruiter. Does that help? I don't have a specific cap as to how many questions because the conversation could just go really, really well and the questions could just be natural. But if you can sense that the conversation is kind of dying, and there's a loss of interest maybe, then, or there's somebody else waiting to talk to the recruiter, then I would say wrap it up.
No, that was actually a perfect answer.
Okay.
And it also goes back to what you said about prep, because if you research the companies and you should have X amount of questions that you should, and a
Yeah.
lot of your questions should be answered if you research the company.
Exactly, exactly. And I would encourage individuals who are attending these fairs to really think about things that aren't available on the website that they really want to know about. And I give that same advice for interviews too. What is something that is important to you that you want to know that you can't find out through Google or through the company website? Within reason, nothing crazy. Let's keep it professional.
Oh no, thank you. That was great. And by the way, I do love your elevator
Thank you.
pitch or worksheet. I've never
Thank
seen one
you.
like that. I would love to be able to use that if you don't mind.
Please, I shared the slides with Claudia, so you are more than welcome to. I found it to be really helpful when working with college students and even high school students. And so it's easy, straightforward, because I know even myself, all this stuff is hard for me too. And so I feel like if it helps me, then hopefully it'll help others. So absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for that. I was going to ask that too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Any resources that you can think of that maybe I haven't given or provided, just let me know and I'll see if I can find anything.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
We work too much together. I just want to say they call
I was, you just did the same thing. All right, do we have any other questions? All right, if not, I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. And I'm gonna stop recording.